Holy Heart of the universe, may we enter this time and space with an open heart and mind. May we tap into and converge into oneness, into source, love, into the consciousness. So that we may lift each other, that we may heal each other's hearts, that we may nourish our lives and the lives of all others. And so it is.
Still call me Superman. If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind, kryptonite. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind, kryptonite.
Last week, Renee and I went on a camping trip. This is about this. This is the size of our camper, not this actual size. But we have a camper shaped like this. It was originally built in 1965. It's called a zipper camper. It's 10 feet from here to here. There's no bathroom in it. So we pulled our little camper and we went camping last week, and we pulled it down to a state park in South Carolina in Cheraw. So it's spelled Cheraw. We thought it was Cheraw, but we found out when we got there that it actually is pronounced Cheraw, South Carolina. So it was nice to get away. There was a great little state park there, not a lot of people there, which I'm happy about. I mean, I love you all, and I love to be gone. And so the first day we were there, Renee said, well, we'll just kind of ease into Cheraw, South Carolina. So we went into town, a quaint little town. Their visitor center is actually in the town hall. So we go into the town hall, this old building, big pillars, and we walk in, and the first person we see, unbeknownst to us when we saw her, is the clerk and the treasurer of the town. And her name is Clementine Ellis. Clementine Ellis. Clementine was born in Cheraw, South Carolina. We found this out just in talking to her. Decided that when she left to go for college, she was never coming back to Cheraw, South Carolina. And she has been the clerk treasurer there for 42 years. 42 years in Cheraw, South Carolina. So she was, unbeknownst to us too, Cheraw is the birthplace of Dizzy Gillespie. And sitting right there in the town hall foyer area is one of his original trumpets in its case. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. So she started to relay the history of Cheraw, and she gave us some brochures. One was this walking tour that you could go on, and you would just dial up on your phone, and you could have this narration based on these. And they had numbers on places, different places you could go. We're like, oh, that's really cool. You know, and then she said, right before we left, she said, oh, and by the way, make sure you stop by the Chamber of Commerce and get the keys to the museum. Right? Get the keys to the museum because you'll want to see what's in there. We're like, okay. We thought that was interesting. But we were on our way to lunch. So we had lunch and we had some country food that I was like, oh my God, I shouldn't have eaten that, but I ate the whole thing kind of thing. And we went on this little walking tour. And the first place we stopped was this old St. David's Church, which was commissioned, I think, in 1798. They had this cemetery there where there is buried there a soldier from every American war. So starting with the Revolutionary War, at least, and they, it's the South, so they don't call it the Civil War in the South. They call it the war between the states. Yeah, the war between the states. So, several other things too, but not the Civil War, the war between the states. So we spent some time kicking around there. Renee and I both like history and what we can learn from that, and then we went down the road to this little park that they had on the edge of the PD River. And come to find out through our little tour guide that was on our phone that this was one of the a shipping port back in the day of steamboats. And then once trains took over from boats, the port went into disarray and actually was used as a dump, for outside the town until it was cleaned up and now is this beautiful park. So we were like, oh, so it was very interesting. And we're hiking around and we're heading up back toward town and thinking, we really do need to go to the Chamber of Commerce and see if we can get the key to the museum. It's very curious. So we found the Chamber of Commerce. We go in. This person jumps up, comes right to us like the town hall clerk did. I mean, she was like, come on in here. And this was there's only one employee. It's the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Yeah, her name is Jenny McLaughlin, and we say yes, we're touring around, and Clementine told us we could come over here and ask for the keys to the museum. Oh yeah, let me give you these keys, and you want the keys to the church too? Renee and I were like that. No, we were just at the church. It's way over there. We're not going to hike back there today. We'd just like the keys to the museum. So she took it off the key ring and gave us the keys to the museum. And we walked across the street a little ways to this, like, one-room schoolhouse is the size of the museum. But they have artifacts in there from their entire history. They had arrowheads from Native American Indians. They had shipping manifests there about what was shipped and what the cost was. There was a table in there on which stood the telegraph machine that sent the first telegraph from that area. It was just so interesting, and we were there looking at all the cases. We were the only ones there because we had the keys. And we're going around and looking at things. It was very, very interesting. And we were probably there for 20 or 30 minutes. It was we were curious, and it was very interesting. So we finished our look at the museum, and we head back over to the Chamber of Commerce, and we go in the door, it's locked. Like, the door's locked? And right over here, there's this little sign this big that says closes at 3 o'clock. It was closed. So we got the keys to the museum, and the place was closed. She didn't say, hey, I'm going to be leaving soon. Here's what to do with the keys. Or maybe come over and knock at the museum and say, hey, I'm leaving, you got to go. But nothing, and we got the keys. We're standing there, the door's locked to the Chamber of Commerce. Isn't that curious? Fortunately, we are curious enough that we looked way down at the bottom of the door, and there was a mail slot. At the bottom, not here, but at the bottom like this. Took me 2 tries to get the keys in. Took the keys in. Amazing! Now, we were incredulous that this is what happened. As you were laughing, who would give a stranger the keys to the museum in Cheraw, North Carolina with all those artifacts in there? Well, it reminded me of this. This is the lesson that I took from this, is that we expect what we are conditioned to expect. What we believe is what we expect and how people will react and how they will treat us, right? When something comes out of left field, we're either frustrated or incredulous or laugh or mad or angry. Because we don't have there's no framework in us for that. Those people, Clementine Ellis and Jennifer McLaughlin, had more trust in us than I have in most people. Maybe you too. That's why you were laughing. Like, who in the world is going to trust? Our hairstylist doesn't even trust that we'll show up on time. That's why we get 3 messages. Right? And here we are, the keys to the museum. More trust, because my trust has been broken. And so I don't trust in the same way that Clementine and Jennifer did in Cheraw, South Carolina. I wondered to myself, who has more stress in their life? Me or them? I'm thinking it's me. I'm thinking it's me. Because what happened there was not a problem for them at all. Not at all. So here's the lesson. What I believe about the world is not always true everywhere. What I believe about the world is not always true everywhere. What I believed about trust was not true in Cheraw, South Carolina. Not in the Chamber of Commerce and not in the town hall. They gave us the keys to the museum and were ready to give us the keys to the church as well. No questions asked, no I'll be gone, but just trust. So what I believe about the world is not always true everywhere. That's what I learned there through that story. So that's Cheraw number 1. Cheraw number 2 is this. So that was on Monday. On Tuesday, we were driving out to 40-acre Heritage Park to go do some hiking. And we drove through rural South Carolina. I mean, it was rural. It was farmland. It was cattle. It was just planted, just growing through the dirt ryegrass that's nice and green. You know, it was farmhouses still in operation and machinery, and it was farmhouses abandoned and barns abandoned. It was rural South Carolina. There was no shopping mall or hospital or coffee shop. There was no bank. There was nothing. It was rural. There was barely crossroads. We didn't go through towns with even many lights, stoplights, on the way to where we were going. It was about an hour from where we were camping. And I had the feeling as we were traveling in Renee's big Ram truck, you know, we had the big Ram truck pulling this, just in case we needed a little bit to pull that baby out. And I was thinking to myself, you know, I was feeling that I had an understanding of why my liberal politics would not sit well in that community. I was thinking about how these people have worked for generations and been dependent on themselves and their neighbors for their survival. I was thinking about how they work so hard and they just want to keep their own money. And they're not interested in taking care of the world because they have a hard enough time just making it work where they are. And so I was having this feeling about how someone could have a feeling about keeping the government out of my business. And that's not a liberal talking point. That's not a liberal talking point. But that's what I felt there. That's what I felt there. And I thought, well, sure, why wouldn't you feel that way? You know, there's no, you know, that's the feeling that I got there. And so I thought, what's the lesson there, Paula? And it was this is what I wrote down. If I always believe and defend the same things without considering another view, how could I ever grow? If I always believe and defend the same things, how do I not understand somebody else? How could I realize that I just might be wrong about something or short-sighted about something if I don't consider that? If I never question myself, like, how could I ever really feel confident? I don't think I could. Really? And it's not about agreeing or disagreeing. It's about the way we evolve and grow is by exposing ourselves to that, to be willing to change our mind, to be willing with careful and curious consideration, think that there could be a different point of view. And to deeply respect that. Because not only were those farmers feeding themselves, they're feeding us. They're feeding us. Whether you're plant-based or animal-based, they're feeding us. Nobody in here, I'm guessing, is growing all the food, 100% of the food they eat. No, I don't think so, right? If you are, no, you're not. We know we're not. That's what they're doing. All evolution happens when we are willing to change our minds. All evolution of our consciousness and growth happens when we are willing to shift, to make a shift in us, right? That's what happens. That's how evolution happens. With that point of view, it's the birthplace of possibility. It's the birthplace of empathy. It's the birthplace of understanding that ability. So here's the other thing. I ask myself, all living things change and grow. Why do we think that our own minds are exempt from this very thing? Why do we think that our own minds are exempt from changing and growing? Why do we think that? Why do I think that about me? And of course, there was a quote on my Zen calendar that supported this message, and it's from Rosa Luxemburg, who was a Polish-German revolutionary socialist and anti-war activist during World War I. Those who do not move do not notice their own chains. Those who do not move do not notice their own chains. So I'm asking you not to think about somebody else who isn't moving, but to put the mirror up in front of you and say, when I don't move in my consciousness, I don't recognize my own chains, my own righteous steadfastness not to move. Like, yeah, that. Those who do not move do not notice their own chains. Yeah. Cheraw number 3. Hold your seats. There is a gold mine outside of Kershaw, South Carolina. A real gold mine. I mean, they are mining gold. Mining gold. 12,500 acres of gold mine. Did you know that? We were incredulous. We were driving down the highway because it was raining when we got out to the, before we hiked at 40 Acre Park. So we decided to drive into Kershaw and have lunch. Kershaw instead of Cheraw. Kershaw. And there were these big mountains of granite stone alongside the road. We're like, what in the world is that? We thought, well, it must be, I said, well, it's probably a quarry, because I thought I knew. You know, feel free. Well, it's probably a quarry, Renee. No, it was a gold mine. We couldn't believe it. I didn't know there were gold mines in the United States of America. They mined over 180,000 ounces of gold in 2023. At $2,000 an ounce, I think my math is right when I say it's $360 million worth of gold mined in Kershaw, South Carolina. Employs like almost 600 people. Like I said, 12,500 acres. It's strip mining, so it's a mess. But that's what they're doing there. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. You guys didn't quite have the same reaction as you did as keys to the museum, but it was incredible because it didn't fit with what I believe to be true. So it goes back to this same thing, right? What I believe about the world is not always true everywhere. There's a gold mine in Kershaw, South Carolina. Just so you know. Yeah. Kershaw number 4. The last time we went camping, we went to Jordan Lake State Park, which is outside of Raleigh, because we were camping there to go to the state fair in October. So we were excited about that, hanging out in our little camper and being able to go over the state fair and not having to drive 2.5 hours or what back to Wilmington. And like I said, we don't have a toilet or a shower in there. It's just a place for a bed. We have a 2-burner stove and a sink. That's about it. So we carry our shower stuff up to the bathhouse to take a shower and realize at Jordan Lake State Park that the bathhouse we went to, number 1, the showers are motion sensor. Like, what are you supposed to do? Renee's in there like this. water in that bathhouse. Showering during that trip was awful. It was awful. We tried one more time, but yeah, don't you wish you had a video of that? Maybe not. So when this was the time, so now we're going to South Carolina, this bathhouse. We're thinking, oh my God, I hope this is going to be a different experience. Like no motion sensors, please, and hot water. So at this particular site, there's only 17 sites, so very small. And most of them had those big wonkin' campers, so they probably had inside stuff. We didn't. So we walk up and we're like, hoping it's good. We walk in, you could feel the warmth because it was cold last week. It was like, oh, it's warm in here. This is so nice. It's so nice. We look in the showers and peek over. Knobs. There's knobs. We were so excited. And right over the 2 showers was a little unit heater blowing heat right over the showers. We felt like we hit the jackpot. We took a shower every day we were there. It was so nice. I think we're the only 2 people that showered in the campground. It was so nice. It was so nice, and I thought to myself, we're not that excited about showering here. I mean, it's the same water. It's the same nice heat that we have in our bathroom this time of year. And so it reminded me about how often we're not grateful for small things. That we just pass them by, we expect them. Here we are, we expect them. Right? We expect the water to come on, we expect it to be hot. And it reminded me about feeling grateful for little things. And we were ecstatic, grateful about that, ecstatic. Cheraw number 5. We had planned to stay in Cheraw through Wednesday and leave Thursday morning from the campsite. We got up Wednesday and we were looking at the weather and we were like, oh man, it's supposed to drop to 30 degrees tonight. There's this thunderstorm coming through. It is not fun. Where's Holly and Bruce? It's not fun packing up a camper in the rain. You got to wipe down all the hoses and your cords and you're getting wet. It's just not fun. So we decided we should probably leave. We'll leave today. We'll leave this afternoon. So we got in the truck and we went into town and we got gas in the car. And the day before, Renee's navigation system stopped working. She said, I think it's just a cord. We'll stop at CVS, get a new cord, hook it up. We'll do that. And we'll stop at this place downtown called the Peach Cobbler Factory. And we'll get some peach cobbler to go. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. That's a good plan. The gassing up was good. Renee's an eagle eye. She finds the cheapest gas that she can see. 10 cents down there, U-turn, got that. Went to CVS, got the cord, could not get the navigation system to work. She was frustrated. I need my navigation system. I'm like, I'll get us there. I need my navigation system. Wasn't working. Stopped at the Peach Cobbler Factory. Waited till noon, because we were like there a little before noon. Walked in there. It's ice cream. It's ice cream that they put some stuff over. We were looking for like Cheraw homemade peach cobbler. So we turned around and walked out. We're like, if there's a sign, we just got it. Go home, right? Go home. So we did. We went back and we packed up and got ready to go. The other thing we're going to do that day is to take a walk at this nature preserve. The wind's blowing. There's white caps on the lake we were next to. Like, we're not going to see a bird. Those birds are doing what we should do, which is prepare for the storm. So we came home. And that's what we did. So what's the lesson? You know what it is already, right? We had plans, and plans change. Right? No sense in getting upset about them. They changed, and they changed for the better. We were home. It worked out the best for us. So what does all this have to do with coming to church on Sunday and the spiritual life? I tell you, it has everything to do with it. Because the spiritual life doesn't happen at church. The spiritual life is one you lead and I lead all the time, everywhere. All the time. And so it encourages us, I believe, to stay awake and aware. To let your mind grow, to let your mind expand, to look at something and let it make you feel differently. To look at the Clementines and the Jennifers and be amazed by their trust in the universe, something I didn't have to the degree that they have. To see the amazing pulse of life living them the way they live. Like to be aware that that's leading a spiritual life. That's really, in essence, seeing God in everything, no matter what it is. If your plans change, to see God in that. To see God in someone who trusts. Right? To see God in the comfort of a shower. To be grateful, to practice gratitude. I mean, all those things. That's the way we live a spiritual life. Every day, in everyday things, all the time. All the time. That's what it has to do with it. That's how you build a spiritual life. One other thing I'll share with you. I know I'm going a little bit long. It's everywhere, though. We had the termination, the final class of our book study last week. We studied together Rising Out of Hatred, and it was about the transformation of a white nationalist. Someone who was raised in white nationalism, who realized over this book, you have to read the book, realized that his viewpoint on life was inaccurate, and even more so. And every time I lead or facilitate a class like this, there's always so much wisdom that comes out of the people in the class. All right? It's not just the book, it's not just me, it's everyone in the class. So I want to read you a couple quotes that fall into this idea of living a spiritual life, and what you believe is what you tend to see. What you believe is what you tend to experience. Here's my great friend Beverly. She said this: I think people are becoming kinder. When's the last time you thought of that? Maybe most of us think it's going the other way. But Beverly's quote was, I think people are becoming kinder. My good friend Maggie said this: the most unlikely things happen all the time. That can go both ways, by the way. The most unlikely thing happens all the time. I mean, the keys to the museum happening, or the transformation of a white nationalist who is now campaigning at the other end of the spectrum. My friend Jeanette says this: it's all about listening and common ground. You know, it's all about listening and common ground. To be riding through that the country, and to listen not just to the birds or the tractors or the guy in front of you, but to listen to what's inside. To listen and find that common ground. Find those ways that we connect. That we're the same. We're so much more the same. We're so much more the same than we are different. And finally, my friend Jackie, who says, feelings and preferences, not right and wrong. Feelings and preferences, not right and wrong. Right? Like those things. The wisdom that we have, that we can access when we take a breath and not be so righteous and this. Yeah? So today's lesson is called Notes from the Road. And that's what I got for you today. So let's take a time of meditation right now. I invite you to get comfortable and take a deep breath. And to consider that everything is my teacher. Everything is my teacher. My whole life laid out before me, and whatever happens is here for me. It's here for me to consider with great care and curiosity. To let me be informed by my life, however simple it may seem to be. It is what is in front of me. It is my life. So let's just sit for a few moments and consider that. from Mary Oliver. Oh, do you have time to linger for just a little while out of your busy and very important day? For the goldfinches have gathered in a field of thistles for a musical battle, to see who can sing the highest note, or the lowest, or the most expressive of mirth, or the most tender. Their strong, blunt bleaks drink the air, as they strive melodiously, not for your sake, and not for mine, and not for the sake of winning, but for sheer delight and gratitude. Believe us, they say, it is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning, in this broken world. I beg of you, do not walk by without pausing to attend to this rather ridiculous performance. It could mean something. It could mean everything. It could be what Rilke meant when he wrote, "You must change your life."
Been driving these wide roads for so long, and my heart's been far from you, 10,000 miles gone. Oh, I wanna come and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands, and my lips are unclean. In my darkness I remember Mama's words reoccur to me. Surrender to the good Lord, and who I do say clean. Take me to your river, I wanna go. No, take me to your river, I wanna know. I'm going as a man with many crimes come up for air, as my sins flow down the Jordan. Oh, I wanna come here and give every part of me, but there's blood on my hands and my lips are unclean. Take me to your river, I wanna go.
Are you ready? Deep breath in. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all be well. May all be peaceful and at ease. May all be happy. Until next time. Amen.
Thank you.